Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversations Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Well, we made it to the end of another week, the first full week of 2021. And I know for many people, the end couldn't come soon enough. But look, we made it, so we have that to be thankful for. For today, we of course have your news headlines coming up. We have the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. And today, in an entertainment spotlight, you guys really have a treat. You'll be part of my conversation with Joylet Heilig. She's the daughter of Hidden Figures feature, Katherine Johnson. We're going to be talking about a new book that she wrote with her mother before her passing called One Step Forward. You guys are going to really enjoy this. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In Mississippi news, the Mississippi State Department of Health reported more than 3,000 new COVID-19 cases on Thursday and 48 additional deaths. There have now been in Mississippi alone 231,490 COVID-19 cases and 5,061 coronavirus-related deaths in the state since March. In national news, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi calls for the using of the 25th Amendment on Trump. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says President Donald Trump should immediately be removed from office or Congress may proceed to impeach him. Pelosi on Thursday joined those calling on the cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment to force Trump from office. It came a day after a violent mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol, forcing the building into lockdown. Trump called them very special people and said he loved them. She said at the Capitol on Thursday, the President of the United States incited an unarmed insurrection against America. Pelosi says he could do further harm to the country. Any day can be a horror show for America, she said. Democrats and some Republicans want Trump removed before his term ends on January the 20th with Democrat Joe Biden's inauguration. The 25th Amendment allows for the Vice President and a majority of the cabinet to declare the President unfit for office. The Vice President then becomes acting President. In the early morning hours on Thursday, Congress confirmed Democrat Joe Biden as the presidential election winner before dawn, hours after a violent mob loyal to President Donald Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol in a stunning attempt to overturn the election, undercut the nation's democracy, and keep Trump in the White House. During remarks in Wilmington, Delaware on Thursday, Biden says people should not call the hundreds of Trump supporters who broke into the Capitol protesters. Rather, he says they are a riotous mob, insurrectionists, domestic terrorists. Biden said Trump is guilty of trying to use a mob to silence the voices of nearly 160 million Americans who voted in November. In more national news, Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao resigned effective Monday, becoming the highest-ranking member of President Donald Trump's administration to resign in protest after the pro-Trump insurrection at the Capitol. In a statement on Thursday, Chao, who is married to Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell, said the violent attack on the Capitol has deeply troubled me in a way that I simply cannot set aside. She said her department will continue to cooperate with President-elect Joe Biden's designated nominee to head the department, former Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg. When it comes to what happened at the Capitol, top Republican and outgoing Majority Leader Mitch McConnell agrees with Schumer that there was a massive failure by police and other officials that allowed a violent breach at the Capitol on Wednesday. McConnell says a painstaking investigation and thorough review must now take place and significant changes must follow. In more coronavirus news, U.S. registering highest deaths yet from the coronavirus. The U.S. registered more COVID-19 deaths in a single day than ever before, nearly 3,900, on the very day the mob attack on the Capitol laid bare some of the same deep political divisions that have hampered the battle against the pandemic. The virus is surging in virtually every state, with California particularly hit hard. Skyrocketing deaths and infections there are threatening to force hospitals to ration care and essentially decide who lives and who dies. Folks are gasping for breath. Folks look like they're drowning when they are in bed right in front of us, said one doctor in an emergency room at Santa Clara Valley Regional Medical Center, urging people to do their part to help slow the spread. I'm begging everyone to help us out because we aren't the front line. were the last line, he said. And finally, in entertainment news, homebound viewers boost New Year's Eve ratings a CNN high. Stuck at home on a pandemic New Year's Eve, TV viewers turned to Ryan Seacrest, Anderson Cooper, and Andy Cohen in big numbers for a virtual celebration, with Times Square largely empty as the ball dropped. ABC's Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with host Seacrest drew 18.4 million viewers in the hour between 11:30 p.m. and 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. CNN ushered in 2021 with its highest-rated New Year's Eve special on record, with 3.4 million people tuning in to share the evening, hosted by Cooper and Cohen. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for the Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich. Enjoy it.
Hi, this is Mary Ellen with your Truth of the Day. Sit with your sadness. I know the last thing anyone wants to hear when going through a period of great sadness is, you will learn something from this. Or, look at the bright side. In the midst of a tremendously painful situation, you really don't care about the bright side, because the overwhelming feeling of pain you are feeling is too exhausting to even begin an examination of what is happening. You feel disappointed, angry, fearful, picked on by life, and let down by God. Sitting with sadness takes the courage to believe you can bear the pain and the faith to know you will come out on the other side. Courage and faith will allow you permission to grieve and walk through your sadness. After you sit with your sadness and experience it, understand the powerful teaching tool sadness has to offer. Now you can choose to surrender and accept the change you are going through. Today, feel your own sadness while you have compassion for others experiencing the same thing. And remember, enjoy your day.
As I mentioned, Miss Joylette Heilig is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight, right here on Conversations Daily News. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with the Entertainment Spotlight. Miss Joylette Heilig, the daughter of Katherine Johnson, known to many from Hidden Figures, joined me this week on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the book that she wrote with her mother before her passing, called One Step Forward. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Miss Heilig, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
You're quite welcome. Thanks for asking me.
Well, look, I enjoyed this book so much, and I think it's great for all ages. It not only gives us a snapshot of your mother's life, but also your life as well as watching history unfold with her. What was that reflection like for you in writing this book?
Well, the history didn't unfold till much later. As we were growing up, we just had working parents, and my mother worked all of our lives, and we worked under that umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
That gave us structure, work to do. We also had lots of fun. She taught us games and things. We didn't realize, we were interested in the space program because she was involved in it, but we didn't know to what extent.
Right. What I thought was so interesting that I didn't know, Ms. Heilig, was, and I should have known because at the time, of course, we have gotten to learn about your mother, Katherine Johnson, of course, but we also were able to see what you all went through because of the time we were looking at in the world with history and dealing with segregation. What was that reflection like for you to be able to share with us as we're kind of celebrating your mother's life as well?
Well, we lived in a segregated community, and as long as we stayed there, we were pretty much safe because your neighbor was also an additional parent.
Mm-hmm.
And we just knew what we had to do and where we could go. And there obviously were things that we might have wanted to do, but you don't let that stop you. You make the best of what you have. So this is kind of how we lived our lives early on, and we just took advantage of whatever opportunities we had.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. We'll be back with you guys on Monday with more news, Truth of the Day with Mary Ellen Ciganovich, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm Cyrus Webb saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Let's make it a great one.